Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to start case 10. Thanks to these three, Paula, Roberto, Danielle, and Catherine. I spy a mummy. Matthew, you've been going from success to success, but we still need to find the true identity of Chief Ripley's killer. Thanks to you, we know that Chief Ripley's killer is operating under a code name, The Sword, and that they have ties to Sombra. We still don't know who or what Sombra is, but we do know that the Sword is operating in Egypt. If we're going to Egypt, we are definitely going into a pyramid. Or you could do your job and keep your eyes peeled for the Sword, Archer. Never fear, Ingrid. Between me and Matthew, the Sword is as good as in jail. Matthew, would you ensure that Archer doesn't break any precious antiquities with his ego in that tomb? No problem.
Of the left side.
Any other similarities?
They both had their mouths glued shut, and both hyoids were broken. But without the restraints, I can't conclude that Casey Chapman was hogtied.
What about the ligature marks on the wrist, ankles, and neck?
Lividity proves she was bound, not how. This new victim wasn't sexually assaulted, and he used more glue to seal her rectum. Took an acetone lavage just to get the scope in.
Alright.
You're sure she wasn't raped first?
There was no fluids, no lubricants, no tearing, no vaginal swelling.
Could be sexual dysfunction. A lot of serial rapists can't perform.
Uh-oh.
Which just feeds their rape.
Oh, there we go.
Find him fast.
Broken pieces.
What's next?
A mummy. Oh.
Injuries, same MO. No forced entry, no DNA, no fluids, no fibers. One big difference, he raped April, not Casey.
Could be two different guys. You think it's copycat?
Golden Ankh.
More release, more like two guys hunting.
There's no evidence to suggest that they're two different perps here.
There's no evidence, period. But what do we know about the victim?
There is that scale. Oh, it's up there. Still learning the ropes. Check it out, Matthew. I'm walking like an Egyptian, and so's this mummy. Wait, you're right. Mummies don't have fresh blood coming out of them. This guy is newly dead. Pretty clear he didn't mummify himself. Was someone just trying to hide his body, or was he some kind of sick experiment? Were there any clues in this tomb about the identity of this guy, and why someone wanted to mummify him? A bunch of broken alabaster. If you think piecing that together will help, I can support that. Look at this beautiful golden ankh with blood on it. Do you think the killer knocked out the victim with the ankh? A sample of that blood might tell us, Matthew. Here's hoping that these clues can help us find out who this mummy is.
This is the same hump. Why are we just hearing about your cases now?
Took me a while to put it together. The first victim was bound with...
Okay, 18 hours.
The second year with scars.
I'll grab some stars, so I'll be back. Okay, got some stars. Let's examine the ankh first. Got the blood sample we need from the ankh you found on the crime scene, Matthew? Let's get it to Lars.
Need or you won't accept any other kind of help? The victims pay for it.
Look, I can still do my damn job.
While you've been looking for somebody else to blame, how many things have you missed? Something that fresh eyes would have caught.
I honestly don't know.
Okay, 3 hours.
Should find out.
And the broken pieces.
So what do you got?
This is into custody. Stefan Enrique.
Tell me you weren't trying to cut me out of this.
You know, you didn't give us much of an option. Now, we want to catch the son of a bitch just as badly as you do.
Make some DNA evidence to the press.
So the broken alabaster from the tomb is a plaque. It reads, Tomb of Hoptesekemui. That's a mouthful. It also reads, in case of desecration, call Zara Salah of the Ministry of Antiquities. I think a murder counts as a desecration, don't you? Let's call Zara Salah over for a chat. Maybe she'll know who the victim is.
A small piece of knotted rope survived the blaze. Given the victim's position, I'd have to say she was held.
About the tomb desecration? Miss Salah, the tomb of Hotep was desecrated by a murder today. Do you recognize the victim? That's a thief Wahab. He sells fruit to visitors by the Nile, but peddlers aren't allowed inside the tombs. A fruit vendor? Can you think of anyone who might have wanted to hurt Mr. Wahab? Not really. He was a very simple man. I can't imagine him having enemies except... Well, there had been some trouble between him and another vendor, but I don't know much about it. You might want to ask around. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a million phone calls to make. When do you think the Bureau will release the crime scene? Once Sheriff Matthew catches the killer, Miss Salah, we'll be in touch. We may have follow-up questions. So our mummy was just a fruit vendor? Matthew, I hate to say it, but do we have time for this case? I mean, we're supposed to be looking for the sword, not solving local homicides. Alright, I admit mummifying a fruit vendor is a little odd. You think there could be more to a thief than Miss Salah claims? You're right, it's up to us to find out. And yes, if Afir worked along the Nile, it's a good place to start. Let's go.
Well, actually, we all have Facebook and email. I still have a simple phone.
Consumer Cellular has been providing AARP members with great service since 2008, so you know it's a service you can trust. And members can save even more with special discounts.
I was able to keep my phone and my number.
It's really easy to search.
Their plan started just $10 a month.
Alright. I think I see a few. A flyer. Bad man. Photograph. Play obelisk and banana. You found a wanted flyer with the victim's face on it? The message says, wanted, fair fruit prices. Was this the victim's advertising? This can't be a marketing gimmick. The flyer also says, bad man. No signature. Maybe whoever put this flyer up left fingerprints. I'll get the dusting kit out. And he found a photo of the victim too? But who is this older woman with him? And they don't look related. Think he can find a match in the database? There must be more to a thief than meets the eye, Matthew. Why would a humble fruit vendor end up mummified? I'll get some stars, I'll be right back.
I have never seen any of them before.
Alright, folks, I'm back. Got 8 stars, let's examine the flyer.
It must be a dream job for a man with your talents. Unlimited access to ambulance hospital.
Hundreds of contacts. I'm sorry, I don't recognize them.
There we are.
I mean, it feels exciting.
Those are some beautiful fingerprints you dusted on that flyer, Matthew. Elliot will find a match for sure.
She's right.
When he makes his move.
She rejects him.
9 hours.
So he gets enraged and he punches her in the face just to teach her a lesson.
Saying a lie there, being built because I've turned him on.
He listens to her. And then he ties her up. And then she is hit this one's with his hand.
Okay.
He's finished. And now somebody's done.
This world can't be better.
Ellen Redfern. Alright. Did you find a match for the woman next to the victim in that photo, Matthew? Ellen Redfern. Her file lists her as an archaeologist. It looks like she comes to Egypt at least once a year, and this photo looks recent. Looks like she and the victim are close. Let's see what this Ellen Redfern has to say about our victim, Matthew.
Can you get off this floor? The guy's a squirrel.
Got her ties to the victim?
It's gotta be here.
Miss Redfern, Sheriff Matthew found this photo of you in Afif Wahab. Do you always get chummy with people who sell you produce? Oh, lovely Afif. I watched him grow up. I've been coming to Egypt for over 30 years for my research. Back then he was just a mischievous little boy, but he brought out something maternal in me. We've kept in touch ever since. I always buy my fruit from him. Although lately Afif's been terrified. He's convinced that someone's following him. Whoever it was may have caught up with Afif, Miss Redfern. Your friend was found murdered today. No! And I told him to stop being so paranoid. I should have believed him. Please stick around, Miss Redfern. Sheriff Matthew may have more questions as our investigation unfolds.
Just to read it.
He also likes to torture and murder women.
I'll let at least these two run their courses. It may speed up the autopsy, but we'll see what happens. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, it is Matthew here. We are back, and we're now going to get the results of the blood first. Hey Archer, got a joke for you. Knock knock. Sorry Matthew, I can't resist. Who's there? Ankh. Ankh who? Ankh if you love your mummy. Ankh, honk, get it? Good one, buddy. Did the blood sample Matthew got you from that Ankh tell you anything? Well, the blood belongs to the victim. You were right to assume the killer knocked the poor guy on the head with the Ankh. But that's not all the killer left behind. There was also resin from a hookah pipe mixed in with the blood. So the killer smokes a hookah, huh? Well, their plans of getting away with murder are going to go up in smoke too. And the fingerprints? The fingerprints you got from that flyer defaming your victim brought up a match. Jawad Rashad. I pulled on Mr. Rashad's fruit vendor business permit, which has some juicy info. Oh god, that pun was terrible. I'm turning into Lars. Anyway, it appears that Mr. Rashad had the retail spot closest to the tomb, but the location was taken over by the victim. Did a classic business rivalry turn homicidal? We better ask Jawad Rashad if he jumped from nasty flyers to murder, right Matthew? About his rivalry with the victim? So, Mr. Rashad, it appears that you put up a flyer calling Afif Wahab a bad man? That's just business. Afif is a competitor. I was about to kill him with a price drop. Kill him? That's an interesting choice of words. Afif Wahab was found murdered today. Someone killed Afif? Who would do that? He sold inferior produce, of course, but that's no reason to kill someone. Being bumped from a more lucrative sales location, though, that could be a motive. We know he stole your vending spot. You think I'd kill a thief over a vending space? That's completely crazy, Majnoon. Believe me, Sheriff Matthew has seen crazier, Mr. Rashad. Stay close by, we may have more questions for you. Now, I know I have the cash to speed up the autopsy, but I'm not going to do that right now. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Morning, folks, we're back. And we're now going to get the results of the victim's body of Afif Wahab. The victim was a new addition to the mummies around here. He's only been dead for a few hours. Fun fact, the ancient Egyptians removed the brain through the nose during mummification and threw it away. But at least the Egyptians waited until the person died. You mean someone removed this guy's brain while he was alive? Yes, though the victim wasn't alive for long. Given the state of his nose, he probably died after the first jab. The killer used an ancient metal hook to remove the brain. Keep an eye out for that hook, Matthew, but the killer also left behind a savory indication of their snacking preferences, cyanoglucosides. The killer transfers cyanoglucosides from turnips through pink brine left on the victim. Pickled turnips are very popular in this region. It's no wonder your killer enjoys them. So we have a killer who eats pickled turnips. Well, they will find themselves in a pickle once Matthew catches them. Afifah Hobbs' identity is still an enigma, Matthew. Who would mummify a fruit vendor? And if he's not a fruit vendor, what were his true ties to the suspects? Jawad Rashad claims losing his vending spot to Afif was just commercial rivalry, not a murder motive. But what if there's more behind the fruit vendor persona? Ellen Redford had a close friendship with Afif, and Afif thought he was being followed. More details at odds with the fruit vendor story. As for Zara Salah, she was quick to throw us off her scent. We better not let our guard down around her. Matthew, a person believed to be a spy has been spotted at the 1002 Nights hookah bar. This could be the sword. And 3 more energy coming my way. So I'll get to chapter 2 next time. Alright folks, it's Matthew. We are back. And we're now going to start chapter 2 of I Spy a Mummy. Matthew, if our victim was a fruit vendor, why would anyone mummify him? And if he wasn't a fruit vendor, then who was he? Matthew, a person believed to be a spy has been spotted at the 1002 Nights hookah bar. Matthew, what are the chances of a spy popping up right when we're trying to find the chief's killer? What if it's the sword? Spies, fruit vendor, turned into mummies. None of this makes sense, but this supposed spy may give us our first answers. They'll probably be hard to find though, Matthew. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled. Let's go have a look at the hookah bar where they've been spotted. There's my inspiration for these. Aha! Faded papyrus. Torn paper. Costume case. Bongo drums and chess piece. I can't see the spy Ingrid mentioned, Matthew. Not that I'm surprised. The whole point of a spy is to blend in. But you found some interesting clues. If you think piecing this torn paper back together can help, go for it. And is that papyrus? Looks like someone being mummified. I don't believe in coincidences any more than you do, Matthew. I bet the killer touched this. There's more on the papyrus, but it's faded. I'll get the dusting kit. But after that costume case, are you trying to compete with me for the title of Master of Disguise, Matthew? Sorry, only joking. Let's look through this case. We may find something interesting. Okay, I'll grab a few stars. I'll be right back. Okay, I decided 1 star is good enough. So let's examine the costume case. Aha! A fez. With a hidden camera. Why is there a giant camera in that fez hat you found in the costume box, Matthew? Wait, you think this hat might belong to the spy we've been looking for? But that's the exact opposite of discreet. Surely no spy worth a cent would... Hey, get your filthy hands off that fez. It's mine. Is the camera in it yours too? I don't know what you mean. I'm just a humble oud player. Oh god, I can't believe you're the spy we've been looking for. Alright, Matthew, care to have a chat with him? Jean Connery. All of a sudden I feel a little SNL with this guy. About his double identity. I can't believe you saw through my disguise, Sheriff Matthew. I am indeed a spy. My name is Jean Connery. Wait, is your mustache fake and you call yourself a spy? Please tell me you're joking. The hat was bad enough. You're right, Sheriff Matthew. I need to focus. So, Mr. Connery, why are you in Egypt? I'm on a top secret mission. If I tell you anything, I'll have to kill you. I'm shaking. Look, we're investigating the murder of a thief Wahab and looking for a dangerous criminal called the Sword. Any help you can give us? A thief Wahab, the fruit vendor? He got murdered? Whatever for? That's what we're trying to figure out. We suspect him of having had a double identity. You didn't notice anything suspicious about him? No, we shared a hookah pipe once, but we didn't really talk. Well, if anything comes back to you, be sure to tell Sheriff Matthew, and grow a real mustache for Pete's sake. Okay, torn paper. Another 2 energy coming my way. Got it, another 9. So that torn paper you pieced back together was a love letter? I see the victim, and is that the belly dancer from Morocco? Asal Hawa? What's she doing here? I can't read what's written in Arabic, but one of them was madly in love with the other, and I doubt it was Asal. She must have better taste. I agree, Matthew. We should ask Asal about this. She must be around, and I've been itching to see her again, for professional reasons, of course. Uh-huh. About our relationship with the victim? Well, hello there, Miss Hawa. How's it shaking? I mean, we have a few questions about a love letter Sheriff Matthew found. Something about you and a certain Afif Wahab being in love. Mr. Wahab is just another patron of the hookah bar. He tries to court me like every other guy in here. It's stressful to be so wanted. After work, I have to smoke a hookah pipe just to relax. At least Afif buys me pickled turnips, but we never eat together. Remaining unattainable is part of my charm. I'll say, well, Miss Hawa, if you remember anything out of the ordinary about Afif, please let us know. Why? Is Afif in trouble? You could say that. He was murdered. Impossible. I mean, that's awful. I just saw him yesterday. I can't believe he's dead. Whether she knows it or not, Asal Hawa is now in the running. Now let's examine the fate of Papyrus. Great! You uncovered the missing text on that mummification papyrus. It's all hieroglyphs. We can't read that. Good idea, Matthew. DuPont could help. Let's send the papyrus to him. Okay. I'll let the hieroglyphs run its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, it's Matthew. We are back. The hieroglyphs just ran its course. I'll get the results now. Matthew, the hieroglyphs on the papyrus you sent me are fairly self-explanatory. Great. If it's that easy, then I guess we don't need you anymore. Junhom, I will consider retiring when you show some respect. Where was I? This papyrus is a manual of sorts. It's an ancient mummification for dummies guide, if you will. It describes the process of readying the body for its afterlife, from removal of the brain to the wrapping in bandages. So that's how the killer learned to turn a thief into a mummy, and that means they know how to read hieroglyphs. Well, the killer will soon be carving hieroglyphs into their prison walls, right, Matthew? Matthew, I don't think a thief was just a normal guy, or that his killer didn't have a mummification hobby, like Lars. There must be something more to our victim. Don't you agree, Matthew? Good idea, Matthew. If you want answers about a thief, we'll need another look at his workplace. Let's go back to the Nile. Now, me personally, I have never even left the country before, but my sister has been to Japan at least 6 times. And I'm not kidding. Oh, there. Bracelet, necklace, RSI. Oh! That's a clue. That's surprising. Candy box and life buoy.
Set to begin at about 12 noon. Listen, I want you to find out online.
The big Black Friday blitz is just over a week away, Holly. You might be running from store to store to score those school bus rides.
So you found a candy box along the Nile, Matthew? Oh, look, it's those rose-flavored sweets. Turkish Delight. Love them. And there's a card addressed to Jawad from the victim. It says, peace offering? So our victim extended an olive branch to Jawad. That's innocent enough. Wait, you want to test the powdered sugar? Okay, think you can vacuum up a sample? And is that a video camera hidden in that Egyptian eye? The base is asking for a password. Time to put your skills to use, Matthew.
But if you were busy or distracted, would you notice that it says for motion picture use only, where it should say the United States of America? You didn't see that? You can buy $50,000.
I'm gonna grab the remaining stars. I'll be right back. All right, I got myself up to 20 stars. Now let's examine the candy box. I am gonna speed this one up, but I'm gonna get the remaining stars on my tablet. Just to kind of save a little bit in the long haul, even though in the long run it really won't matter. Oh, I still got the 9. So you got a sample of the powdered sugar from the candy box? I still think it's just powdered sugar, but if you think there's more to it, go ahead and stick it under the microscope, Matthew. All right. Oh no, right there. A laxative powder. Well, obviously somebody's going to be taking a dump easier with that. So is there more to the powdered sugar on a thief's peace offering to Jawad? There was laxative mixed in with the sugar. So our victim offered laxative-laced sweets to Jawad, huh? Bet it was payback for that defaming flyer Jawad made. Let's go ask Jawad Rashad about this so-called peace offering, Matthew. About the victim's laxative-laced sweets. So, Sheriff Matthew found a thief's peace offering to you. That was no peace offering. Stealing my vending spot wasn't enough. A thief tried to poison me. Poison you? Alright, sending you laxative-laced sweets wasn't nice, but those sweets got me hospitalized, Sheriff Matthew. A thief put so much laxative in them I almost died. Now I can't even trust a jar of pickled turnips I made myself at home. All I can do is smoke my hookah pipe and try to forget what that son of a donkey did to me. So a thief almost killed you. Well, let's hope for your sake you did not return the favor and succeed. I'm sorry, but son of a donkey is too funny. I can't believe you didn't go for the basic terminology, say son of a bitch. RSI right now. EQGA. EM89. Whew! Great, you unlocked the hidden camera in record time. I bet Elliot can access its recordings. Okay, 12 hours. But actually, I'm gonna get the remaining stars just on my desktops, so I'll be back. Well, actually, I think I'm just gonna get it on my tablet. I kind of changed my mind about that. So I'll see you guys when this thing runs its course. I might speed it up later, but we'll see what happens. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Okay, folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Let's get the results of the Horus Eye camera.
Those your fires on the homicide?
Yeah.
You know, I don't normally get excited about the stuff you send to me, but this Eye of Horus camera you found near the Nile has got to be the coolest gadget I've ever seen. I managed to access the camera's recordings. The view was always on a thief Wahhab's vending spot. Ha! A thief must have been doing something more interesting than selling fruit if someone bothered to record it. What do you have, Elliot? Most of the time a thief was just selling fruit, but there was one heated argument that came as a surprise. Here, I'll cue it up.
You didn't answer your phone.
So you asked Truck 1 to boom my door?
They're here to protect
A thief, we've known each other since you were a little boy. I've always helped you. Just do this for me. I could get into trouble for this. Tell me where you got them or take them to some other idiot.
Zerolto and production.
I can't believe you don't trust me, you ungrateful little... That's it? Well, that sucks. Wait, that was Ellen Redfern, the archaeologist who told us she was friends with the victim. She doesn't seem so maternal now, does she? Depends on how you define maternal. They continued arguing for a while, but the camera lost sound. Looks like we'll need to ask Ellen Redfern about their argument, right, Matthew? Let's see what Ellen Redfern has to say about the argument. Sheriff Matthew got a hold of some interesting footage of you and a thief arguing. What was that about? Footage? Someone filmed us? Then you know. I asked him to hold on to some artifacts for me. I trusted him. Well, he sure didn't seem to trust you. Clearly he thought you were hiding something from him. That idiot thought I had stolen the artifacts. I'm an archaeologist. I read hieroglyphic artifacts. I don't sell them. Why would you want a fruit vendor to keep legally obtained artifacts for you? Was the thief your smuggler? Is that it? Look, a museum in London made a very good offer for these artifacts. I didn't want my colleagues to know about it. That's why I wanted a thief to hide them for me. So you're just greedy. I hope your greed didn't lead you to murder, Miss Redfern, or Sheriff Matthew will lead you to jail. Well, she's clear for now. Great idea to do our recap in the tomb, Matthew. This will get our investigative juices flowing. And we need all the help we can get if we hope to figure out who killed Afif Wahab. Alan Redford may have tried to kill a thief because he wouldn't help her hide some artifacts. And who knows more about mummies than an archaeologist? Jawad Rashad almost died from the victim's so-called peace offering. I'd have my boxers in a twist if that happened to me. And what about Asal Hawa? I'm starting to think she's too gorgeous to be... Hands up, Sheriff Matthew. Hand over my spy cam or you're dead. What the hell? What the hell? Well, we can only uncover more in Chapter 3, and that we'll get to next time. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get to Chapter 3. So let's think, Matthew. Afif Wahab was in the early stages of mummification when we found him right here in this tomb. According to our suspects, Afif was nothing more than a fruit vendor, but I still think something's off. Hands up, both of you. Sheriff Matthew, hand over my spy cam or you're dead. Asal Hawa, you're wearing clothing and pointing a gun at us. Lower your weapon, Miss Hawa. That's Agent Hawa, you buffoon. I'm with Mossad, the Israeli intelligence service. All the more reason for us to have a more civilized conversation. Fine, I'll holster my gun, but I won't tell you another word until I get my spy cam back. That spy cam is evidence, Agent Hawa. You might get it back someday, unless you killed Afif Wahab. I didn't kill Afif Wahab, but I could tell Sheriff Matthew more about him. Ask Asal who she really is. Some belly dancer you turned out to be. You claim to have good intel about the victim? Time to start dishing. Look, the belly dancing was just my cover while I was investigating Afif Wahab for Mossad. Wait, you were spying on our victim? Matthew, we were right all along. Afif wasn't just a fruit vendor. I came here because I heard a Sombra agent had been operating from the hookah bar. All our intelligence reports point to Afif. He was good at playing the lovesick buffoon, but I could see through him, and you could too, Sheriff Matthew. Wait, you thought he was a Sombra agent? So you know what Sombra is. Do you know anything about the sword?
Underground.
You think I'm going to share my intelligence with you? Unless you can steal it from me and read hieroglyphs, that's not going to happen. Don't play games with us, Miss Hawa. I'll verify your identity with the Bureau and your story had better check out. Matthew, I can tell you want to investigate the tomb again. While you do that, I'll call Ingrid and tell her about Asal's big secret.
So she's good at playing parts, but greedy and thieving doesn't make her psychopath.
Not all psychopaths are murderers and rapers. Some never commit a crime. They've adapted their amorality to fit into society.
Like a criminal master?
Who better to leverage the buyout of a company without giving a damn about the people who lose their pensions along with their jobs?
Which is not the same thing. They didn't break the law. There's a big difference between embezzlement and rape.
Oh, absolutely. Rapists get 18 years in Attica.
Okay.
18 months in Club Fed. I'm sick of watching my perhaps at the same time.
So we better make sure that Angelette comes back from work.
Torn photo. Book.
You're both off the case. It's too dangerous.
Ankh.
Here, Sinus.
It's already done.
Jackal Mass.
We have no idea what kind of association.
Aha. Leather satchel.
We promised the U.S. Attorney we'd transfer to the federal jail together. The Marshal Service handled the business. What we did.
Let us pick her up from Rikers and transfer her down to lock up fully square.
A couple of hours max.
No. It's done.
You going somewhere?
It's 18th.
I've just got a few errands to run.
Dry cleaner have anger issues?
Don't do this.
I'm not gonna let that bitch scare me off.
Maybe you should.
Well, Matthew, I just talked to Ingrid. It appears that Sal really is a Mossad agent. You're right. What we need right now are clues. That leather satchel you found is locked. Think you can open it? And what's the mess? Looks like a torn photograph. Time to put your puzzle skills to good use.
I'm trying to protect you from the follow.
Oh, you insert GQ just cowboy it up, huh?
You have a problem with Ash?
No, but you're my partner. If anybody has your back, it should be me.
Change into the Dalmatian.
Handle Angelette. You handle Ash.
Examine leather satchel. You are in and... Oh no, GBX. Well, I missed the 9, but that's okay. Whoa, that satchel you found in the tomb is filled with American dollars. How did this end up here? Nicely spotted. The wad on the top has got a band around it, and it's faded. Let's get your dusting kit, Matthew.
Queens. No wonder I've never been here.
Examine the banded money. Do have SVU on in the background, so don't mind me. Ancient Ministry of Antiquities. The paper band around that wad of money says property of the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities. Does that mean Zara Salah, the minister, left that satchel full of government money inside the tomb? Time to grill her, Matthew. About the sack of money. Miss Salah, care to explain what stacks of government money we're doing on our crime scene? I can't believe I forgot it. I was so nervous, and Sheriff Matthew, I can explain everything. The ministry knew that Afif Wahab wasn't what he appeared to be. We determined he'd set up his stall by the Nile so he could steal from the pyramids. But we needed to catch him red-handed, so I set up a trap. I smoked hookah with Afif at the hookah bar and told him I was a foreign traveler looking to buy antiquities. I had to eat my way through 3 plates of pickled turnips before I could convince him to meet up with me in the pyramid to do a swap. But when he got there, I could tell the antiquity he was trying to sell me was a fake. I can read hieroglyphs, and the ones on his artifact were just random pictures. So he tried to swindle you, and you killed him. Is that it? Of course not. I'm a government official. I turned him down and went back to the ministry. You try to trick him. Maybe you're trying to trick us too? It won't work, Miss Salah. Not with Sheriff Matthew on the case. Well, now she's in the running.
She's enjoying this.
Examine the torn photo.
My father always told me to seal every business deal with champagne. Think this junk is around service?
I do now.
Got the 9. It's a photo.
I have to say,
Matthew, that photo you restored shows our victim. And there's a Sal following him. Guess she really was investigating him. But who took the photo? Ha, you're right. That blob in the corner could be a finger. Let's get this to Elliot so he can work his magic on it.
you didn't know my mother.
9 hours.
Judgment, carpet.
So I'll get it just before my 10 o'clock news starts. So I'll see you guys for when this thing runs its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then.
Around my finger.
Alright folks, we're back. I'm going to speed this up because I got dinner tonight. Birthday dinner, that is.
Students and teachers.
Matthew, this spy stuff you've been sending me is brilliant. A surveillance photo from a real spy? What this spy could do with a bit more training. Taking a selfie of his finger, he's either brand new at this game or an idiot. I think I know who took this picture, but tell us just so we're sure. The finger in question belongs to Jean Connery. That's what I was afraid of. You're right, Matthew. We better go grill Jean about his surveillance photo of the victim.
The city's pilot program to help get rid of those chickens just wrapped up. So
About the surveillance photo. Mr. Connery, Sheriff Matthew found this photo at our crime scene. Why were you spying on a thief Wahab? Wahab wasn't my target. I'm after a Sal Hawa. Why do you think I got that job playing oud at the hookah bar? I mean, I like their pickled turnips, but not enough to take a job there just to eat them. This photo is the proof a Sal is dangerous. Almost every time I took a picture of her, she was following that Wahab guy. I managed to steal her reports, but the hieroglyphs only spelled out curiosity killed the cat. I still haven't been able to crack her code. Anyway, Sheriff Matthew, you should focus on Asal. She's not to be trusted. She may have killed a thief. Good attempt at misdirection, Mr. Connery, but we still got our eye on you. Stay put. Matthew, we knew a thief had to have been more than a simple fruit vendor, and we were right. According to Miss Salah, a thief was a smuggler of antiquities, which would also explain why Redfern wanted him to hide some for her. And Asal thinks a thief might have worked for Sombra, even though she refuses to tell us anything about what Sombra is. So far, one thing almost all the suspects have in common is that hookah bar. You're right, and we know the victim spent a lot of time there. We should go back. Wanted to at least get the last crime scene unlocked. Okay.
Have you met your perfect match?
Monitor. Gunny sack. Banana. Blue bow. Carrot. Stained hook. Whoa, what is that hook you picked up at the bar, Matthew? It looks ancient and bloody. Yes, I remember what Angela told us about the killer removing the victim's brains through his nose. Wait, you think they used this hook to do it? Then this means you just found the murder weapon, Matthew. But what's that bright red stuff on it? There's not a second to lose. We need to get a sample of this. And what's this gunny sack doing here? You're right, we need every lead we can get. If you think there's one in that bag, dig in.
Heavy rain possible and increases the flooding threat as we head into the weekend. Let's take a look at what's been going on around the islands. That trough of low pressure that we were talking about, helping to pull up that moisture over the southeastern side of the Big Island. Some areas getting more than 6, 7, even 8 inches of rain in the past 24 hours. As this trough has shifted to the west, take a look. You can see some of these clouds coming in from the westerly direction. That's showing those mid and upper level winds. Watch what happens when that trough interacts with that. You can see that abundance of clouds and additional rain that moves over.
There we are. 7 energy. Red substance. Kind of looks like paint. Got a sample of that red stuff from the murder weapon, Matthew? Let's rush it to ours.
A mixture of those for Maui County. And once again, wetter weather in the forecast for tonight and into tomorrow. As we take a look at our Friday forecast on the cloudy and wet side, not just for those windward areas.
9 hours.
We'll also see the showers. Temperatures a bit cooler thanks to all the cloud cover and those showers. Winds also turning more east-southeasterly, 10 to 20 miles an hour in the forecast for tomorrow. As the day goes on and that trough continues to shift to the west.
There we are.
A
mysterious box.
Will actually dry out.
Not sure all those artifacts are real, but this box is too dusty not to be. I don't see an opening or a lock, do you? You're right, Matthew. We don't have time to stand here playing with a puzzle box. DuPont can crack its secrets.
Yesterday, for tomorrow, we are expecting waves gradually dropping off, but again,
and 15 hours.
And gray skies for those out in the water with those numerous.
I will let these two run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then, and tomorrow, I'll put a killer behind bars.
Over the weekend.
Okay, folks, it's Matthew. We are back. Both of these have run their courses. Let's get the results of the red substance. Well, I was saving a video, by the way. Haven't uploaded my World Edition cases yet, but I will. But by the time this would have been uploaded, they all would have been made it. They would have all been on my YouTube page. So let's get the results of the red substance. Matthew, whoever used the hook you found in the hookah bar had better be the queen of denial. Get it? Denial? Denial? Bro, you know I love your jokes, but we need answers. Well, the sample you brought me was lipstick. Not just any lipstick either. It contains red ochre, a pigment prized by ancient Egyptians for their cosmetics. Lipstick? What? Did the killer kiss the murder weapon for good luck? Gross. At least that means we know we're looking for someone wearing lipstick. Matthew, you're right. They better hope they can kiss their way out of jail. And mysterious box from DuPont. It took some doing, Matthew, and I'm ashamed to say I needed help from Lars, but we opened the box you found at the hookah bar. You are never going to believe what we found inside. Brains. Angela confirmed it. This brain map belonged to the victim. Thank you for your help, Lars. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to provide Matthew with some evidence. The killer put the victim's brains inside this box because the box is an organ vessel, as used in the ancient processes of mummification. It stands to reason that the killer had the key to the box. See this indentation in the stone, shaped like a winged scarab beetle? That's the lock. The killer would want to keep the key to the box on them at all times, so they are likely to be wearing it, probably as a brooch shaped like this scarab beetle. So the killer is a scarab beetle brooch? Matthew, I think it's high time we put the killer in their own little box. Matthew, looks like we have all we need to arrest the thief's killer. It's time to get some answers. It's not a Sal Hawa. It's Zara Salah. Zara Salah, you are under arrest for the murder of a thief Wahab. What? I wanted to catch that thief red-handed, not kill him. Oh, come on. You tracked the victim like a predator and lured him with the hookah pipe at the hookah bar. Like a predator? You make me sound like some kind of monster. Kissing the murder weapon before you pulled the victim's brains out with it sounds monstrous enough, doesn't it, Sheriff Matthew? Absolutely. Please, you're making me sick. Not as sick as seeing the victim's brains in a box made us. A box that you opened with the scarab brooch you're wearing. The game is up, Salah. I was foolish to think I could escape you, Sheriff Matthew. Yes, I killed a thief Wahab, but I had to. Because you thought he was stealing from the tombs. No, because I exposed myself as a thief to him. Wait, what? You're the antiquities thief? But your job is to keep the tombs safe. Why don't you try to live on a government salary, Sheriff Matthew? Nobody really knows what's in those tombs. Nobody misses the artifacts I smuggle. I can't believe it. So you killed a thief because he was a competitor? Not exactly. When I met him in the tomb, I offered him a large amount of money to pack up and leave, but he refused. He clung to his fruit vendor story, said I couldn't force him to leave his stall. The man was mad. When I realized he wouldn't take the money, I panicked. I couldn't risk him realizing who I was and exposing me as a thief. So you mummified him? I thought nobody would notice one more mummy in a tomb filled with them, but I took the hook in the brains because people would have noticed how fresh the body was. But you didn't count on Sheriff Matthew being in town, did you? That one mistake is going to put you away for a long time. You're under arrest. Zara Salah, you stand before this court for the murder of a Fifo Hab by mummification, a new twist on an old technique. From what I understand, you abuse your power as the Minister of Antiquities to smuggle precious artifacts out of the tombs, too. My, I really do enjoy locking up corrupt government officials. Really brightens my day. Zara Salah, for the attempted mummification and successful murder of Fifo Hab and the theft of precious artifacts, this court sentences you to 50 years in prison. You can't send me to prison. I'm a government minister. I'm glad that Zara Salah is behind bars, Matthew. Whoever Afif was, he was not the man Salah had been after. But he might have been the Sombra agent Asal was looking for. Matthew, what if Afif was Chief Ripley's killer, the Sword? You're right, we need answers, and we're not going to not get them just sitting around and wondering. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's look at the other ones. Jawad Rashad, cleared when he doesn't read hieroglyphs. Alan Redfern, cleared from the start. Jean Connery, almost made the cut, doesn't wear lipstick. Asal Hawa, doesn't wear that brooch. So, it was Zara Salah. We'll get to Crossing the Desert 4 after this. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get to Crossing the Desert 4. Matthew, you may have caught Afif's killer, but we still don't know who Afif was. What if Asal was right and Afif was working for Sombra? And what is Sombra? All we know so far is that the Sword is linked to it. Matthew, you need to interrogate Asal about this. You must get her to tell us what she knows about Sombra. She wasn't very cooperative the first time, but I'm sure my charm and Matthew's wit will win her over. Matthew, you also want to go back to the Nile, see if we can scrounge up more info about who Afif really was? Good idea, let's go. Let's talk to Asal first. So now that you're not a suspect, Asal, maybe you can share a little intel? Agent to agent? I'm thinking of a two-letter word that starts with N. The word is no. Cute. Look, whoever killed our chief is working for Sombra. Why don't we just cooperate and get the Sword behind bars before someone in your camp gets killed? Mr. Archer, I do not trust you, but I ran a background check on Sheriff Matthew and I'd be willing to share information if you pass a trust test. A trust test? What's next? Pinky promises? We're the good guys, Asal. I've heard that one before. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go to the tomb and retrieve a piece of my equipment that I left behind after our last chat. But careful, Sheriff Matthew. If you tamper with the equipment, no information about Sombra for you. Well, Matthew, I guess we're off to the tomb to pass this trust test with flying colors. Broken device, there it is. Not my best score, but hey, at least I did it. A bunch of broken plastic. It's true that this doesn't really belong in an ancient tomb. Is this Asal's spy gear? Tap into your puzzle powers, Matthew. I'm trying to put these pieces together. Night vision goggles? Interesting. A pair of night vision binoculars. I know Sal said no tampering, but don't we need to be sure that these are hers? You're right. If we take these binoculars to Elliot, he'll be able to tell us that they belong to her. Plus we'll get to see his gothness smile again. "9 hours. And let's examine the Nile River. I know where everything is. Coffee can. Why are you holding a coffee can, Matthew? It's not break time. We just got started sweeping the Nile for clues. You want to search for the contents of that coffee can? I'm learning to trust your hunches, Matthew. Go right ahead. I think this is the second one I've done in this one today, so let's examine the coffee can now. Wow, I didn't even see. Oh, there it is. Assassination target. The paper you found in that mess from the coffee can has the word target on it. Guess you'll need your dusting kit to see what's underneath it. Jean Connery is the target. Is that Jean Connery on the paper you found in a thief's stuff? He looks so different without the fake mustache. The word target over Jean's photo. Wait, target like assassination target? Could a thief have meant to kill Jean? So a thief was more than a fruit vendor. You're right, we need to talk to Jean about this. About being an assassination target? Mr. Connery, are you aware that you were the target of a hitman? We found proof that a thief Wahab wanted to kill you. A thief Wahab? The fruit vendor? Bien sûr, I'm a spy. Lots of people want to kill me. It's an occupational hazard. Now that you mention it, the evening a thief Wahab and I shared a hookah, he insisted on buying me tea. I only took a sip before I had to go up on stage and play, but I ended up spending all night in the toilets. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Matthew? That sounds like what happened to Jawad when a thief gave him that Turkish delight. So that's why he did it. He was testing his dosage to poison Jean's tea. That's the first time I've heard of a hitman poisoning people with laxatives. So I'm lucky to be alive, Sheriff Matthew. It's nice to know that the Bureau has my back. I want to give you a token of my gratitude and esteem. Please wear this in good health. Matthew, I can't believe that a thief Wahab was a cold-blooded killer. But you're right. A thief's modus operandi doesn't match the way Chief Ripley was killed. That killer used poison darts, not laxatives. So a thief Wahab didn't kill Chief Ripley. Well, at least that's one question answered. Good job, Matthew. Just because I want to, I think I'll speed this up. Just when I thought you were done sending me spy gadgets, Matthew, these night vision binoculars are the real deal. We don't doubt that for a second, but can you tell us whether or not the binoculars belong to a Sal Hawa? Fine, kill my buzz. They are standard Israeli military issue with a few mods that make them even better for spying. I'll take that as a yes then. Looks like we can let Sal know that we found her spy gear and get some intel in exchange. About her intel? Sheriff Matthew found your binoculars, Miss Hawa. They're safe and sound. Now give us the intel. Why are you asking me for info about Sombra? After all, you're the ones who dismantled its European branch. Wait, what? The only thing we did in Europe was put those crazy Prometheans away. Are you saying they were affiliated with Sombra? Yes, everything points towards Sombra being an international crime organization. It's structured into separate cell groups, scattered all over the globe. What Sombra does is incorporate its existing groups into its organization to strengthen itself and get bases on every continent. That's probably why the Sword has been talking to rebel groups in the Sahara, trying to get them to work together, to create a new cell for Sombra. Well, Sheriff Matthew brought the Prometheans down. Sombra's bigger, but we'll bring it down too. Your confidence is charming, Mr. Archer, and I have no doubt that Sheriff Matthew is one of the best the Bureau has to offer. But nothing. Sombra killed our chief. For that alone... Listen, Sombra is way more than one agent with a poison dart. You'll need help to bring the whole organization down. Well, I hope the trust tests are over, Agent Hawa. In the meantime, let me treat you, and Sheriff Matthew, of course, to lunch. Fancy a burger? So what have you got for me, Matthew? What did Asal Hawa tell you? Well, according to Mossad, Sombra is an international crime organization. The Prometheans are a part of it, but only one link in the chain. What about Afif Wahab? Was he a Sombra operative? Did he kill the chief? Afif Wahab was indeed a hitman, and he was targeting Jean Connery, but his modus operandi was not poison darts. So we're left with more questions than answers once again. May I butt in? Jonah, how'd you get past security with a mug like yours? Nice to see you too, Jack. Sheriff Matthew, I'm here to help. I know how to get more information about Sombra. Sorry guys, my tablet ran out of film room, so let's talk to Jonah Karam. Find out what he can tell us about Sombra. So you have some mercenary madness for us, Jonah. You think you know how we can get more information about Sombra? Sheriff Matthew, I'm just trying to help. I want to find these guys as much as you do. What, do they owe you money? Funny. Look, you can't just wait for Sombra to launch another attack against the Bureau. You need to set a trap for the Sword. Sheriff Matthew, if the Sword is here to enlist rebel groups to Sombra's cause, then you need to make them believe you're with the rebels. You mean go undercover, pretend to be rebels? The Sword has been supplying the rebels with weapons, which means they're working with an arms dealer. Find the name of that dealer and set up a meeting with them. Say you want to buy weapons. The dealer will tell the Sword a new rebel group has formed, and the Sword will contact you. Ooh. It pains me to say it, Sheriff Matthew, but this goon's idea sounds pretty good, and I like the thought of luring the Sword into a trap. Alright, Mr. Muscle, how do you figure we go about finding who Sombra's arms dealer is? I start by going to the hookah bar. It's a known place for shady deals and your best shot at finding that guy's trail. Alright, Sheriff Matthew, I guess it's time to head back to the hookah bar. Crown loot. Aha! Metal briefcase. Just our luck. The bar's deserted again. But I see you found a metal briefcase, Matthew. It looks promising, but you'll have to open the lock before we can have a look inside. I wonder if this is another, analysis. Great, you got the briefcase open. I agree, we don't have time to rummage through it. Let's send it to Elliot. Yes, it is. "6 hours. This one I will let it run its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then." Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the open briefcase. Inspecting this briefcase was a lot less fun than the spy gadgets, Matthew, but I think you'll be interested by what I found. There is a secret compartment in the briefcase. I found a little black book with the sword's card and a list of rebel groups set up like a balance sheet. So whoever owns this briefcase has ties to the sword, who has ties to Sombra. Do you think the balance sheet concerns sales of something? Considering that the fingerprints on the book belong to international arms dealer Seamus Cummings, definitely. Seamus Cummings? I've heard of him. Matthew. He's one of the most ruthless arms dealers in the world. So he has ties to Sombra and is selling weapons to the rebels. In addition, I found an airline ticket to Dubai, so it's safe to say that's where you'll find Mr. Cummings. That's great. He's just the man we're looking for. But how do we contact him? Already one step ahead of you. I'll call him through a proxy number, give him Matthew's name, and set up a meeting. Yeah? And how do you intend to make him believe you're the leader of the rebel group, kiddo? Good idea, Matthew. Jonah knows the seedy underbellies of this world. He'll show us how to act like rebels. I may not trust Jonah 100%, but we need to take action to capture the sword. Okay. Ask Jonah for help. Jonah, we're going with your plan. We want to set up a trap for the sword, and we could use your help. Here's the deal. Matthew found the name of Sombra's arms dealer, a certain Seamus Cummings. We want to set up a meeting with him in Dubai, present ourselves as rebel leaders so he'll inform the sword about our existence. But you don't want him to see through your act, right? Exactly. Elliot's setting up the meeting, but we figured that since you're practically a bad guy yourself, you could help us keep things authentic. Leave it to me. After I get the briefcase back to the hookah bar, I'll help your little hacker friend set up the meeting. We'll fool Seamus Cummings, believe me, and I can help even more with that. Even more than that. Sheriff Matthew, I have a go bag at the Dubai airport at locker 103 CF. There should be sufficient funds for your sting operation. Oh, how nice. Matthew, it's done. I contacted Seamus Cummings, pretended I was forming a new rebel group, ordered 3 dozen rifles. You told me to meet him in Dubai in 3 hours. And you're sure he didn't see through your ruse? Positive. Jonah supervised the call. Alright, Matthew, I guess it's time to leave then. Matthew, are you sure you want to do this? If you meet with Cummings and he sees through you, you'll be risking your life. Meeting with Seamus Cummings is our only shot at getting into contact with the sword, Ingrid. We've got to try it. Then you better get cracking. Your plane to Dubai leaves in 20 minutes, Matthew. Don't forget to pack your weapon. And that is going to do it for this case. I'm going to get to go to this next case for free. Alright.
Everything goes. Every make, every month, every color. All sold under MSRP. With a new road. Or Ultima. Your choice. $198 a month. Yes, $198. Great cars, great prices.
And and I'll see you guys for case 11.
Right now, no charge.